Welcome to my channel. I am Dr. Nalini. I'm a baby brain coach and the founder of Holistic Parenting Universe. Today, I'm coming up with a very interesting video and most requested video from many of my students and also my Instagram and YouTube subscribers. So, when to start school, how to select school for your children. If you are having a child with a 2 year old or a 1.5 years old, also, you would have already started looking for schools. At what age should I start school for my kid? When is the right time for my child to start school? What is the curriculum I want to join my child to? What is the school I want to select? All of these things is one of the common confusing aspect for the parents also. So in this video, I'm going to share with you all these details in very, very, very minute details. And this is not just some information, but this is an information that I'm curating from years of research. Since my daughter turned 2 years, I've been doing a lot of research on different curriculums, what type of schools should I select, and all of those stuff. And it's been ongoing. We are moving to third school in the next 3 years. So I'm going to give you a lot of own experience as well. I'm going to pack all of these things in this one video. So what I want you to do is that take your note or pen to take notes, and also you can grab a cup of coffee and watch this entire video in one sitting so that you are not missing out on any information. So come, let's get started. So let's go one by one. The first thing that parents often ask is, when is the right time for my child to start the school? So here, the right time for the child to start a school is varies, depends on the child's developmental stage, I would say. There is no fixed age like this year you have to start, etc., especially between 2 years and 4 years. Okay. So let me give you a quick glimpse of what are the signs that is saying that your child is ready for school. The first thing is that when a child is 2 years, okay, the separation anxiety is more, especially for children below 2 years. It's a quite a different story. Okay, because they are still babies, right? They are just still infants. They are not even aware of anything outside. But if your child is about 2 years, that is when most parents start to consider, can I start schooling at this age? Mostly 2.5 years is when parents usually think whether this is the right age or too early or too late, like that, right? So there are different types of classes that our children goes to: playgroup, nursery, and then kindergarten. So when we started school, when we were all small kids, we usually started with kindergarten. But nowadays we have, even before the kindergarten, we have the nursery and also we have the playgroup. So if your child is between 2 years and 3 years, don't take them directly to the nursery, but take them to a playgroup. So in this playgroup, what happens is that the children will be able to see other babies, other children, and they will also be learning something from them. They will be learning socialization skills, and they will be just, most of the times they will be free playing, and it's just looking out other children, because most of the houses nowadays having both the parents working and there are not much people to interact with. So those kind of children gets benefited when they are meeting other students of their age. They get to socialize easily, and also they get to see what is happening in outside of the house, outside these two faces. So that is one way beneficial. At the same time, I want to talk to you about the other aspect of joining a 2 year old in a playgroup. Even though we see that there are certain advantages in it, but there are also definitely some disadvantages. Not, I wouldn't say as disadvantages, but parents' responsibility is more. What happens is that parents' mindset is, when my daughter or son goes to school, they are going to be all okay. But it's not going to be the case when the child is starting school, no matter whatever the age is. So when they are in a period of transition, when they are going to a new environment, they need a lot of support from the parent. The parent should not consider schools as the escape factor or a place where the child can just go and relax while you have some time. It's not just going to be that way. Children needs a lot of emotional support from their parents. So we have to definitely understand that, because they are very, very small, they are having a huge separation anxiety. That is why when they go to school, they may be very, very happy in the school. They may be playing a lot in the school. But once they come back to home, they may cry, they may have a lot of tantrums and all that is going to happen. So you need to understand, you need to know how to handle those situations without expecting the child to be all good. So that is one of the disclaimer I would say. No matter whatever your child is, whether it's 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years, whatever it is, you have to know how to handle that emotional support that needed for our children, especially if the child is about 2 years. That is when the child is also going through a lot of real and raw emotions that they are themselves doesn't know how to cope up. So that time, whether the child is going to school or not, the child is going through a lot of emotional development. So the child needs a lot of support from the parents and the caregivers. If the child is also going to school, then it's going to be a little bit extra effort from the parent side. So if your child is between 2 and 3 years, they can start playgroup. But if you ask me if it is mandatory for a 2 to 3 year old to go to playgroup, I wouldn't say yes, because playgroup is not mandatory. If you can manage your child at home, if you can just okay with being at home and you are having no problem in it, there is nothing mandatory that you have to send your child to playgroup. In fact, if you ask me that socialization skills will only develop when they go to playgroup, no, it is not so. Even at home, they are going to socialize, they are going to learn socialization skills, because it is not just going to happen in a day, it's going to be a work in progress. So it is not mandatory that your child should attend a playgroup. But if you are having a second baby who's going to come to the family, or if you feel that you are not able to spend enough time with the child, if you feel that your child is more addicted towards screens because there is no much time that you can spend with them, all of those stuff, if it is there, and if you think there will be a breathing space for you if your child goes and attend the school for 1 hour or 2 hour in the playgroup, then yes, you can send them. Now, after playgroup comes the nursery. Even though the nursery is not much mandatory, but I would suggest that you can go for a nursery at least before you start the kindergarten, because the child is going to learn structured play. They are going to learn language. They are going to be little bit okay with, getting into the small setup of how the environment is, and they will be able to see what is school looks like and all of that. But again, no expectation from the child that the child will be happily going to school. So I'll be covering this in another video if you want, on how to handle the after school tantrums or before school tantrums, or how do we tackle the situation when the child doesn't want to go to school, and how do we help our children to transition to school more effortlessly. If you want me to put a separate video on this, comment below so that I can know that you want to know this. So playgroup is a place where you will be. So whether your child attends playgroup or not, they can attend the nursery. So nursery is nothing but pre-KG. They have their own curriculum for pre-KG, and many schools are there. There are different types of schools also. One is the schools which are preschools which are made specially for playgroup and kindergarten, playgroup, nursery, and kindergarten. Only those classes will be there in the preschools. In the preschools, the advantage is that the attention of the teachers is more towards the well-being of the child, even though they are not concentrating much on the academics. Of course, they do have their own curriculum, but the concentration is more on developing the skills of the child in terms of social skills, in terms of their practical life skills, in terms of them knowing how to go to potty, and all of those stuff is what being taken care when they are going to a nursery or a preschool, to be more precise. And there is another school which is like a normal school where there is kindergarten to 12th standard. So in that is kind of a big school where the children goes from kindergarten to 12th standard. A lot of children are there, a lot of kids are there, a lot of teachers are there. The school environment is bigger. So there is two options. Either you can go and directly join them in a big school, or you can take them to a preschool first, let them be there for pre-KG. Some people even take them till senior KG, and then they transition them from first standard to the big school. So it totally depends upon what you really want. Now, how do you select the schools? I will cover it little later, but there are two types of schools is what you need to know right now. So the preschool is going to have less number of children with more attention, more teachers. Like each class will have 10 to 15 students, and then there will be at least two teachers who will be in the class looking after them, and also there'll be assistants to assist the child with respect to their eating and pooping and all of those stuff, right? So that is how it is. If you are looking forward for a more home kind of environment, then the preschool would be better to start the school with. In fact, I started my daughter's nursery in a preschool, even though we know that LKG onwards she'll be going to a big school, but we wanted to take her to a preschool where it's like a home kind of environment where she's not immediately bombarded with too much of too many kids, too many things bigger, but we wanted to give her an essence of this is what school looks like, and a more friendly environment. Even for the parents, it will be easier to communicate with the principals, with the founders, everybody. We can easily communicate with them. We can easily talk to them, see them, and share any concerns that we may have. So all of these concerns, and also one of the other reasons is that the big schools may be a little far away from your home location, where you have to either take a school transport or an auto, or a daily commutation may be longer. But a preschool is like every two streets you are now having preschool. So definitely the commutation is going to be saving a lot of time. For such a small kid, I wouldn't recommend traveling so much of distance. Now, when it comes to preschool, we are going to talk about the curriculum and also the selecting the schools. So some of the key factors I would like to tell you for selecting a school. So first thing, many people consider that you need to know about the curriculum first. People usually ask this question, which curriculum should I go to? Should I go to Cambridge or IB or CBSE, or which one should I go to? Now, my thing is that I have five key factors which I use for choosing a preschool. I'm going to explain you that. The first factor that I will be seeing is like every other parent, it's about the school philosophy. So when it comes to preschool, the curriculum doesn't matter, because see, whether you want to go for a Cambridge or an IB curriculum or a CBSE curriculum, all of these things is going to come a little later. In fact, you have to be too much worried only when your child goes to middle school, because that is when they are going to take up the exams of Cambridge or CBSE or IB. All of those stuff is going to come only that time. At least in the primary, the way how they teach is going to be different. That is all fine. But when it comes to preschool, which is the pre-primary, from their playgroup nursery to their kindergarten, during that period of pre-primary, you don't really have to consider too much on the curriculum part, but I would say, what is the school philosophy that you have to care about? So there are different types of school philosophy. One is the most famous, Montessori. The second one is play based, and then the third one is traditional curriculum. Sorry, it's traditional philosophy. Okay. So let me explain all the three. First one is Montessori. As you may know, that Montessori is a methodology that is being derived by Maria Montessori, which is completely child-led learning, and they have all the hands-on material, which is specifically designed by Maria Montessori. And also, they will be in the classroom setup where the children are encouraged to learn independently, where there is no teacher who's going to teach any concept in a board or anything like that. Children can go and pick up what they want to learn, and they come back to their place and they will be exploring it. And the teacher will pitch in only when the child needs the help. So, this is what Montessori approach is all about. But what we are seeing right now, in especially in India, is that even though many schools call themselves as Montessori, they do not follow the Montessori aspect or Montessori curriculum to be to 100%. Okay, not many schools. Only a very few schools which you can easily handpick are the ones who are actually following the Montessori philosophy. Other people, they are just putting the board as Montessori school, but when you go inside, it's not Montessori, it's a regular classroom, play based or EYFS. But they are claiming themselves to be Montessori. So if you are planning to take your child to a Montessori school, first thing you need to do is go and visit the school. See whether they are actually using the Montessori materials for everything, and see how is the classroom setup is like, and how are they really using the Montessori philosophy in it. Okay, these are the aspects you need to see. If you say that it's a Montessori school, but you are seeing that the classroom is different from a Montessori classroom, then there is no point in calling themselves as Montessori. I wouldn't recommend those kind of Montessori schools, because they are really not following the Montessori. They are following the normal early years foundation, but they are calling themselves as Montessori so that the fees can be put higher. And the other thing is that parents are falling into this trap, seeing the Montessori name, and they want to send their children to these schools, no matter whatever the fees is, no matter how long the distance is. So I don't want any of the parents to fall into this trap. At this age, in the pre-primary, children needs a lot of so many other things rather than how the philosophy of the school is, right? The emotional wellness of the child, the social wellness of the child, the commutation part, all of these things needs to be understood, needs to be taken care. And of course, your budget, whatever is your budget, whatever fee budget that you have, the school should fit into that budget is what I personally feel. If you have a budget of this and if you are going for this, then there is no point. It's going to create a lot of issues later in your personal life as well. So make sure the school is going to fit into your budget as well, because there is no point in sending your child to a school which is out of budget and then regretting it every single day. And I for sure um say that there is no school that is like you. It's like you must send your school only to this particular school. I mean, you must send your child to only to this particular school. They are going to become this, that, etc. It's not only in the school. Of course, schools plays a very important role in the child's life because they're going to spend almost half of their life there. I mean, the half of the day in the school after the home. So it plays a very pivotal role. And it's not just about the one or two factors that you need to consider. You need to consider multiple factors to check if the school is right for you. So the first one is this Montessori, and the second one, the philosophy, is the play-based philosophy, where many schools I'm seeing that they are adapting to this play-based philosophy right now, especially in India. Even a lot of CBSE school, when you see the pre-primary, they are following the play-based method where the concepts are taught to the children in a very hands-on way. It's not taught in a rote learning way like how we all learned. But nowadays, schools are very taking a very good responsibility in teaching the children hands-on, involving all their senses. So we need to definitely congratulate and appreciate schools for taking this effort for teaching children with hands-on experiences and involving all their senses, because that is how children learn effectively. So the third type is a traditional type where the teacher is leading the classroom. It's more structured and a lot of reading and writing focus is there, and there is a lot of bookish and board to books to board kind of teaching. So that is how we all learned, right? So these are the three types of philosophy, and you can choose what philosophy works better for your child and for yourself. You can choose on that factor. Now let's come to the second factor, which I consider as most important one whenever I'm selecting a school. This thing is that teacher quality. Okay, so the teachers play a very, very important role in the child's life. So my husband used to say, don't look at the teachers, they may change, look at the school. But I be like, okay, even if my child is spending 1 year with this particular teacher, and if this particular teacher's attitude is not good, then my child is grabbing all the qualities inside and it's going to be very difficult to unlearn those qualities. So I definitely need to see how the teacher is approaching, what is the attitude of the teacher, how is the emotional wellness of the teacher, of course, because at our home we are following a positive parenting approach where we don't encourage on punishments and all of that. But if the threatening punishments, all of these things, we don't encourage. And I never do any white lies to my child. I don't say that there's going to be a ghost which is coming and getting you if you're not eating food. I'm not encouraging any of these things. And my daughter doesn't know that is going to be a white lie. So if someone says this to her, she literally believes it. And this is what happened when I sent my daughter to her preschool for her nursery. So that particular teacher was doing using a lot of threatening statements for the children in the classroom, and my daughter was believing it every single day, all these things, and she used to have a very, very big feelings at home. And my entire year was spent in making her unlearn, making her teaching her that it is not true. But she says that, but my teacher only said that. And I have to tell that, okay, sometimes teachers also say wrong things. So whatever the teacher says may not be right. Even if in Amma's case, whatever I say, may not be right, may not be correct, may not be uh, the only way how you look. But if you say that if the ghost comes, no, there is no ghost that is going to come. There's a monkey that will come. No, we are living in a city. We don't have monkeys around. So all of these things is what I was doing the entire year in her pre-KG. especially at that age when the brain is so absorbent in nature, when the child is receiving all these input from the school. Thankfully, I was there to help her to take that out of her mind and put with rewire it as soon as possible. But what if the child is not opening up? What if the parent is not available for the child to say that no, it is not true, this is what the truth is? All of these things, I was having a big headache in that whole year. Whatever she's learning from the school in terms of these kind of as psychological impact, I had to rewire it every single day. That was huge pain. That is the reason why I always look out on how the teacher is speaking to the child, how the teacher is behaving with the child. So this is something that is non-negotiable for me, because a child is in the subconscious state of mind during the early years, especially 0 to 6 years, and whatever the teacher is going to say to them, they are going to literally believe it, and it's going to be there engraved into their subconscious mind. So I be very, very responsible on that. And also one of the other things you have to check is the child teacher ratio. There are some classes where you will be seeing only one teacher and 10 students, and there are classes where you will be seeing one teacher and 20, 25 students. So if the in early years, especially if the child has one teacher for whom they have 25 students, I'm very sure that the teacher will not be able to pay attention to each individual child. So you have to definitely check out for the child teacher ratio. And the third factor that I see is the safety, hygiene, and infrastructure of the school. So this is something that is non-negotiable. Your child should definitely feel safe and comfortable, right? So you have to check out whether the preschool is child-proof. Say, for example, there is no sharp objects all around. There are not multiple. There was one school when I was looking for kindergarten for my daughter. I rejected the school because it was having a lot of steps in the kindergarten area, which is unnecessary steps. There was like two classrooms and then three steps and then one classroom and then again four steps. And that is not definitely not safe for the very small kids, because they run mindlessly, and for because they may fall down and get hurt. I'm seeing all the staff over there keep on instructing the child not to run, not to do this, not to stand like this, not to sit like this. I was like, why are you keep on instructing? Why don't you keep your environment safe and comfortable for the child to run around? So these are some things I think the schools need to take care when, especially when you are designing a space for kindergarten. Okay, the school that I'm talking about is not a school just like that. It's a very renowned school. It is a very renowned school, and they charge a hefty amount for fee. In those cases, we expect some of the safety concerns which is there. And even though there are steps, you may be saying that, okay, we make sure that the children are not falling, but on what cost? When the child is running here and there, that is what the child is supposed to do. And at those times, there are a lot of instructions that is coming in, which is actually damaging their brain, is what I see. So all of these things needs to be checked. And then hygiene of the classrooms, how clean are they, how many times it's being sanitized, and whether there is a proper ventilation in the room. Very, very important. Nowadays, all the classrooms are filled with ACs, right? So what is the outdoor area that is available in the school? Is there any outdoor playtime that the child is getting every day? So what is the ventilation? What is the room size of the class? Is there any big windows for good lighting to come inside? All of these things is something I personally see in any classroom that my daughter goes to. And then, of course, you need to check out on the outdoor play area. So the nursery that my daughter went to, they did not have a outdoor play area as such. It was just a place where in the second floor they had the ball pit and all of those things. But I don't think it is something very useful. Now they have changed a bit, but yeah. So if the and also one more thing is that never enroll your child in preschool without visiting it in person. Go and visit the school in person. Look out for all these areas. Okay, you can also take notes from this video to so that you can check out all these factors is there or not. The fourth important factor is that fees. And apart from just saying it as a fees, I would say what is the value for money that you're giving there. Okay, so preschool fees in India can range from 30,000 to 2 lakh per year. There is a huge variety of different types of preschools available in India. And what you should pay for is something that you have to look beyond the fees. Okay, So what are the activities that is being provided by the school? Are they some preschools they include healthy snacks also in the part of their package itself? Is it something that is there? And also good teachers. What is the qualification of teachers? The schools who get more fees should have highly qualified teachers, and also they should be giving professional development to the teachers on a regular basis. If that is all happening, the fees that they are getting is something that is can be, judgment. I mean, the we can justify it. But there are also schools which only takes a lot of admission fee, but they don't give professional training to the teachers. They are not hiring well qualified teachers. In those cases, it's a very big concern. And the next one is you can also ask about the hidden costs like transport fees if you want to take up the school transport. You can also talk about the field trips, right? Some schools they include the field trips in the fee itself. Some schools they get field trips cost separately. You can also check out for the uniforms also. Some schools they get uniform fee separately. Some schools they get it to get it along with the package. And then you can also do a research on whether the quality of the school is matching the fees that they are asking for. So don't just look at the numbers. Sometimes there are schools which provides excellent features, and for those features, definitely the payment would be little bit on the higher side. So you do your research to see whether you are getting the value for money. And the last factor that we would be looking out for is the how is the social environment of the school and how is the extracurricular of the school. So preschool is not just about learning ABCDs, right? It's all about social and emotional growth for the children. So whether they have music time, music and movement time, they have dance, they have storytelling, outdoor play. All of these things is something that we cannot separate from our children, especially at this age, right? So see if that is all part of their curriculum and if they are really doing it, not just for the curriculum sake of the curriculum names, but also are they really doing it? And understand from them how do they cope up with the children who have separation anxiety. Okay, the transition from home to going to a new place like a school is a very, very big transition and a very, very big emotional shift that is happening in the child. So, the approach, how the schools are handling it, is going to be very, very important to know, because that is going to help us make sure that the child is safe there, and whether the school is happy and welcoming place where the kids enjoy learning, or are they being threatened and punished and they're really scared to even go to school. How is the environment that is being set up by the teachers, by the staff there, the environment there, how is that being set up? So whether the child is enjoying going there or they are scared going there. So you need to understand all of those things by talking to the school staff directly about this. And you can also visit the school during class time so that you can see from other children how they are feeling to be in that classroom. Are they all so rigid and structured and sitting like this, or they are happy and enjoying the learning process that is happening? So these are the five factors that I would personally consider in choosing a right school. And one more thing is that environment around the school. Are there any places where the water is going to be stagnant when it rains? How is the road to the school? All of these are small, small things which we need to which we need to have a look at. And apart from this, for a school, choosing the school can be made from this. And as I was telling earlier, when you are asking specifically about curriculum, I wouldn't suggest you to have a too much of debate on what curriculum to go to in the initial years. You can always, especially if your child is between the playgroup to kindergarten, it doesn't really matter. All you have to look out for the philosophy and all of these other stuff like location, commutation, distance, fees, and all of those stuff is what more important than all of these things as well. And one more thing, personally, what I have is that there are a lot of people who think that, okay, if I'm going and join my child in this school in LKG, my child is going to do her schooling till her 12th standard in this school. So I am a mother who doesn't have that mindset. Okay, I know a lot of people may differ from this. A lot of parents will be like, even the millennial parents have this thought like, okay, I'm putting them in the LKG in the school. The school is going to be there. They are going to learn here till 12th standard. Fortunately, or unfortunately, I don't know. I don't have the mindset of putting my child in a school where she will be going to it till her discharge, no matter what. So that is something that I don't have as a mindset. I can't think any other way as well. So I am open to change. I'm open to look out what is better for my child. Whenever my child is not comfortable in any school at any class, I am open to change. We are more adaptable in that case. And the main reason why I in that mindset is because see, the world is ever growing, and the growth and development that we are seeing in this world right now is something crazy, that is like 100 years of changes that happened in the 100 years of evolution that happened in the world is happening just in 5 years, just in 3 years and all that. So when our children are growing, there is going to be a lot of development that is going to happen in the world. And many of the concepts that they are learning in the school may become irrelevant when they grow up. Okay. So 50% is what the schools can contribute to the child's success, but the other 50% is coming from the home as well. So it's like a balance between school and the home. It's a balance between both. Contributions should be there. Why I'm saying this, many parents have this thing like, when I'm just putting my child in school, they are going to just become successful and thrive. But it's not so. It's not like the school is only having the 100% responsibility. The school has its responsibility in making sure that none of the students in their classrooms, in their schools, fail. That is what they can do. That is, honestly, that is what they can do. That itself is a very big thing for a school to do. The schools think none of the children in our school becomes a failure. All of them wants to be have to be successful. So that is what the schools are operating, and they are doing an amazing job in it. They are making sure that every child is their child. They're taking every single one of the child as their own child, and they are giving all the things to the kids. At the same time, we parents, when we have that one child, two children, etc., we want our children to be more successful, and we want them to go whatever their heart says. We want them to be highly successful. So in that case, we have to be one of other contributors as well. We cannot just um, let the schools take care. That alone is not enough, especially in this ever growing world. Even the schools cannot manage so much all alone by themselves. They want us parents to contribute to our child's growth. So together, schools and parents together have to contribute throughout the child's growth, so that we can actually see the results that we really want to see. It's not just in one place. It's in both the sides of the coin is so important, right? So it's just like that. And so in that case, I think, like, as the world evolves, there is a lot of things that will be happening, and I'm so open to change schools or change the curriculums and be adaptable to check out what is that is relevant, what is that my child is liking, what is that my child loves to do. All of these are the aspects which I am constantly seeing to see where my child fits into better. So if you ask me, like, which is the best school for my child, I wouldn't say there is a best school that every child can go to. It's actually about your child is always the best, which school suits your child. That is how I see. It's not about a institution which is the best one, which everybody goes there is going to become best. It is not like that. Every one of us children are best in their own ways, right? So we have to see our child is the best, and which school would fit them. That is how you can choose the school. You cannot choose a school and then try to fit your child in it, but instead you can see your child and fit which schools will fit into it. So that is how you can actually choose for the philosophy of education. You can see all the other aspects as well. So if you see that your child is more loving of structured things, they love structured environments and all of those things, of course, going with such a school would be fitting them in. If they are completely independent learners, they don't want to be interfered anyway. So then that kind of learning would be helpful for them. So you don't know unless you try it, and also uh, keep an eye on observing the child's growing interest. There is nothing like that is fixed in them already. It's like training them from the earliest. Whatever we are giving them exposure to, that is what they are getting trained to do. So choosing the school which is going to fit your family, your psychology, and your child's learning style, mindset, all of these things matters when it comes to selecting a school. Now, I think I have covered all of these stuff. And one more thing, many people would be asking me, and you will kill me if I don't answer this, is that what is the age that you have to start, right? This is one of the common questions. So I'll tell you this. Till last time, there were a lot of confusions till last year that some schools accept 3 years in lower kindergarten, LKG. Some schools accept only if the child has finished 4 years by March or June. That is when they accept for LKG. So there are a lot of confusions. But here's the thing. By the time your child finishes their upper kindergarten, that is UKG or KG2 or however you call it, they must be 6 years of age. When they complete their kindergarten, when they go to grade one, they should be completed 6 years of age. 6 years, if they completed only, they will be able to start their grade one. So accordingly, you have to choose playgroup, nursery, and all of those things. Okay. Some schools they start 3.5. Some schools they for LKG. Some schools they accept 4. Okay. You have to be making sure that the academic year that your child starts in grade one, that should be the main thing, because I know personally a lot of parents 1 year, 2 year before, when my daughter was starting school, she did it like when she joined LKG, she finished her 4 years of age. When she's going to join UKG, she'll be finishing 5 years of age. That is how she is starting school. But I had a lot of other friends who also born with my daughter, but when my daughter was doing pre-KG, when she finished 3 years, those people joined their children directly to LKG when they finished 3 years. So they were saying that they will be advanced. But what I was thinking is that it's okay if my child starts from the basic pre-KG itself. I don't want her to get into advanced of LKG, UKG, and blah, blah, blah. I want her to be in the let her go step by step. And what is happening right now is many of those kids are repeating their UKG. Okay, because now my daughter is doing LKG and her peers, some of them are doing UKG, and they are actually repeating the UKG because they can't go to grade one unless they finish their 6 years of age. So that is the thing. They are repeating KG. So I am like, instead of repeating UKG 2 times, let her have pre-KG, LKG, UKG, and on its go. So that is how I design. So make sure you are going through the school websites and checking out the age criteria of each of those schools. The NEP is now made has come live. So I think that will be the future. So we don't want our kids to repeat any of the classes. So make sure that they are going in that pace. And I hope I had covered many things, but I'm sure that there may be something that I would have left off as well. So if you have any particular questions, or if you have any specific questions which you want me to answer, put it in the comment box with a detailed question. You brief it completely so that I'll take up those questions and I'll answer them in the next video. Okay. Thank you so much for watching, and do follow me in my Instagram, and don't miss to subscribe to my YouTube channel as well so that you don't miss out any of the videos that I post. Thank you so much. Bye bye.